on page 37 of Hearticulations back, you write, healing is not about them changing.
Yeah.
It's about you changing. And my question about this is actually, even though we know this, actually, if some people are a little bit aware of themselves, we know it's not about them changing, it's about me changing. Why do we keep our attention to others and not ourselves? And where can we find the courage to truly look in ourselves? You already said, like, we need to be ready to just do the deep work, but why do we keep giving the attention to the outside world, to the manager, to the parent, to the ex-partner, to the friends?
Well, I think there's two parts to that. I think for me, we've just been so diminished as a self that we externalize our sense of our own value. Nobody taught us how to derive our own value from our experience of selfhood. So this is new terrain for most of us, really, I think. But that quote was really also about how people put their healing on hold, waiting for the, abusive parent to come over and make admission, or the partner to do the work because they don't want to leave the relationship. And instead of just growing within the self, they keep waiting on somebody else's admission, ownership of their actions, transformation before they move forward. And I think this is a very, very big mistake. Because first of all, you have no idea if somebody wants to do the work. And usually if you push them to do it, they're not going to do it. But the other problem with it is, if they do the work, when they do the work, you don't know who they're going to become. They may not be somebody you're going to fit with anymore. They may not be somebody you can relate to. They may not be somebody who you want to sleep with anymore. They may become a different being. So really all you can do, for the most part, you can remain kind and open where possible with others, but just focus on your own process and transformation. I had this conversation with Ram Dass many years ago when he was alive. A relative of mine was in trouble, drugs and homelessness and all kinds of things. And I was tempted to stop writing my first book and go back and save him. This was my pattern. It's a family pattern. My grandmother said, take care of you, so I was like, okay. So I called Ram Dass, and Ram Dass had a similar experience because he had a homeless brother in New York. And he said, he quoted some Jesus quote, I can't remember, but the essence of it was, Jeff, the most you can do for all of us is to become the person you're meant to become. And that may mean that other person who you think you have to save doesn't get saved, but it may mean that you save 1 million people or 100 people, but even if you never save anybody, you save yourself by allowing yourself to become all that you're meant to become. And I think that's not selfish. That's self-kiss.
That's self-kiss and also kissing everyone, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to be holding yourself back from a patterned place.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are patterns, these are notions of loyalty, survivalism. The apple never falls too far from the tree. We stick together for dear life, and we stay in the trenches together. Well, usually if somebody is going to evolve in a family, it's one person, usually only one. And if you're that person, you got to do it for you and for the world. And maybe it heals them back in time. Maybe those crazy survivalists whose shoulders you stand on wherever they are, if they're somewhere. I remember my grandmother used to say to me, she used to say, you're doing the work that we couldn't do. And she liked that I was doing the work that she couldn't do.
But how nice that
that's why she worked so hard. I mean, all that chicken soup. What was the point of the chicken soup if I was going to stay in the same fucking prison with them? Right?
I think it's very supportive that your grandmother said that you do the work that we could not do.
Yeah.
And I think also there will be many people
they don't hear that.
No, they are like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Or just, I don't know, like have the stable job. Why are you not happy about this? Just do this. You have enough money. You have a roof on your head. So just keep going.